Welcome back to Crafting Made Simple. I am so excited about today
Right.
because we're diving into a world of cuteness,
Oh, yeah?
a world of Hello Kitty crafting.
Hmm.
But before we get started,
Right.
if you love all things DIY and want even more project ideas,
Mhm.
be sure to sign up for the Crafting Made Simple newsletter. You can find the link in the show notes and over on paperflowdesigns.com.
Awesome.
Okay, so today we're looking at this blog post from Paperflow Designs called 7 Things Hello Kitty Lovers Should Not Buy. Make them instead.
Ooh, that's a catchy title.
Right.
It really makes you want to know, like, what could I be making?
Yeah. What am I missing out on?
Exactly.
And this post has some really fun ideas. Like they have a tutorial for making Hello Kitty Party favor bags.
Oh, that's cute.
Right. Super easy
Yeah.
and personalized for any occasion.
Yeah.
And then they also have a strawberry Hello Kitty tumbler.
Ooh, fun
Yeah.
and functional. I like that.
Yeah. You can actually use it, which is always a bonus with a craft project.
Right.
And then one that I thought was really interesting were the Pink Kitty All-Star Converse.
Wow. Okay. Now, those are some serious Hello Kitty fans.
Right. You were really committing when you are making Hello Kitty shoes.
Yeah. You've got to be all in.
Yeah, those would definitely turn some heads. But you know, the ones that really caught my eye were the Hello Kitty Roses Shadow Box and the DIY Hello Kitty Chip Bag.
Oh, those sound really cool.
Yeah, I was really drawn to those.
Hmm.
What about you? What did you think when you saw those?
Well, I think that shadow box is a really clever idea.
Yeah.
Shadow boxes, you can kind of elevate a theme or an idea beyond just like, the typical cutesy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
using the fake mini roses and Hello Kitty SVG design,
Right.
I think that adds a touch of elegance and sophistication.
And it's not like your typical, like, kids craft.
Exactly. It's a
Right.
little more grown up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the chip bag. That one to me is just so simple but so brilliant. It's like, you know, anyone can do that.
Yeah.
You just need like a keychain and some craft paper
Mm-hmm.
and markers,
Yeah.
and you can transform a regular boring snack bag into something fun.
Right. It's amazing what a little creativity can do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And, speaking of creativity,
Yeah.
if you guys are listening and you're like, I want to make these things, tell me where to get the stuff,
Right.
you can actually find the links to some of these supplies
Oh, perfect.
in the show notes and also over on the Paperflow Designs blog at paperflowdesigns.com.
Okay, great.
So they have links for the shadow box supplies,
Mm-hmm.
the tumbler wrap iron-on patches, and even the SVG design for those Hello Kitty sneakers.
Awesome.
But before we list out all 7 ideas from the blog post,
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit more about what makes these crafts so appealing to us.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, what is it about Hello Kitty that makes her such a great inspiration for crafters?
Well, I think for a lot of people, Hello Kitty brings back memories,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like childhood memories of maybe simpler times, like filled with joy and innocence.
Totally. And I think it goes beyond that, too. It's not just about the nostalgia.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's also about what she represents.
Mm.
Like, she's a symbol of friendship, kindness, positivity.
Yeah,
And those are values that people of all ages can relate to.
definitely. And, crafting itself is a lot about like self-expression and connecting with others.
Mm-hmm.
So when you combine that with Hello Kitty, it just creates something really special.
It's like crafting with magic.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like there's just this extra something special there.
Yeah. And I think it's important to remember, too, that crafting doesn't have to be complicated or expensive.
Oh, absolutely no.
You can create amazing things with really simple materials.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of imagination.
Exactly. And, the blog post touches on something else that's really interesting.
Okay, what's that?
Crafting as a business.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It talks about how you can take your love of crafting and turn it into a side hustle.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like more and more people are doing that these days.
Yeah, totally.
Like, people are really looking for those unique handmade items.
Yeah. And especially with something like Hello Kitty,
Right.
It has such a huge fan base already. So you're tapping into that.
Yeah, you've got a built-in audience.
Exactly.
So for those of you listening who are feeling inspired and want to start crafting some Hello Kitty projects,
Yes.
where would you recommend people start looking for supplies and inspiration?
Well, I think online marketplaces are a good place to start.
Okay.
Like Etsy, Amazon.
Yeah.
You can find a lot of themed crafting supplies there.
Mm-hmm.
Pinterest and Instagram are great for ideas.
Oh, yeah. Those are good for visual inspiration.
Definitely. And, don't forget about your local craft stores.
Oh, yeah. I love a good craft store trip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you find the best stuff there.
Totally. And sometimes you just need to see things in person to get inspired.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
What about repurposing?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Because the blog post mentions like finding Hello Kitty items at thrift stores
Mm-hmm.
or using things that you already have around the house.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a fantastic way to be creative and sustainable.
Yeah.
And it makes your creations even more unique.
It's all about like giving things a new life.
Exactly.
So as you can see, there's a whole world of Hello Kitty crafting possibilities.
There really is.
And I think the main takeaway here is that there are really no rules.
Yeah.
You can kind of let your imagination run wild.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, and make it your own.
Exactly.
And before we move on, I just want to give another quick reminder to sign up for the Crafting Made Simple newsletter
Yes.
for even more fun project ideas.
Awesome.
You can find that link in the podcast notes and also at paperflowdesigns.com.
Great.
Okay, so now let's delve a little deeper into some of the specific craft ideas from the blog post.
Okay, sounds good.
What are some of the techniques or design choices that stood out to you?
Ooh, that's a great question. Let me think.
Well, I was really intrigued by how the blog post incorporates different crafting techniques,
Okay, yeah.
from simple things like using markers and craft paper
Mm-hmm.
to like more advanced things like using an electronic cutting machine for those SVG designs.
Oh, yeah. That's really cool. It shows you how crafting has changed over the years.
I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah.
How has technology like influenced the world of crafting?
Well,
Man.
the availability of digital crafting tools has really been a game changer,
All
you
right.
know? Like those SVG designs we were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
it used to be you would need specialized artistic skills to create something that intricate.
Yeah.
But now with electronic cutting machines and all these design files that are readily available,
Right.
anyone can create those professional-looking crafts.
It's true. And it's so much easier than it used to be.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started crafting, it was like,
Oh, yeah?
I was so intimidated to try to come up with my own designs.
Yeah, it could be overwhelming.
Yeah. But now there are so many resources online
Mm.
and the tools are so user-friendly that it's like,
It really opens up a lot of possibilities.
it does. And it's
Yeah.
not even just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's the community that has grown around it.
Mhm.
Like you go on YouTube or Instagram, there are all these tutorials and tips.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
And people are sharing their knowledge and encouraging each other.
Yeah, it's really inspiring.
It is. It's like a global crafting circle,
I love that.
And speaking of community,
Yeah.
this blog post that we're talking about, 7 things Hello Kitty lovers should not buy, make them instead.
Yeah.
It's not just about giving you instructions.
Right.
It's about encouraging that DIY spirit
Yeah.
and inspiring people to be creative.
Definitely. And you can tell the author is really passionate about both crafting and Hello Kitty.
Oh, yeah, for
It
sure.
really comes through in their writing.
Yeah, and I think that kind of passion is contagious.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when you see someone who's excited about making things, it makes you want to try it too.
That's-
And that's the beauty of crafting.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a form of self-expression
Mm-hmm.
that anyone can do.
You don't need any special skills or training to get started.
Right. You just need like a little bit of curiosity
Yeah.
and a willingness to experiment.
Exactly.
And I think this blog post does a great job of like emphasizing that point.
Mm-hmm.
It presents these Hello Kitty craft ideas
Yeah.
in a way that makes them feel really achievable,
Yeah, definitely.
even for beginners.
And the instructions are very clear and easy to follow.
Yeah, and the author gives you helpful tips along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And, even if you're not a Hello Kitty fan,
Right.
these ideas can be adapted to other themes or characters.
Oh, for sure.
Like, let's say you're not into Hello Kitty, but you love, I don't know,
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can totally do a Star Wars shadow box.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or like a sports team,
Oh, yeah.
or even family photos.
Yeah, there are so many possibilities.
The possibilities are endless.
It's all about, like, using your imagination and making it your own.
Exactly.
And speaking of making it your own,
Right.
the blog post talks about the potential of crafting as a business,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is really cool. You can actually turn your passion for crafting
Right.
into a side hustle or even a full-time career.
Yeah. That's really inspiring.
It is. And it makes you realize that crafting is more than just a hobby.
Oh, for sure.
It can be a legitimate way to earn a living.
Yeah. And a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah. And it's easier than ever with platforms like Etsy and Shopify.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's amazing how technology has changed things.
It really has.
Not just the way we craft,
right.
but also the way we can share and sell our creations.
Yeah. It's created a lot of opportunities.
Definitely. What's really interesting is that this entrepreneurial spirit isn't limited to adults.
Oh, yeah.
The blog post talks about how kids can get involved in crafting
Yeah.
and even start their own little businesses.
That's so cool.
Right. Like, what a great way for them to learn about creativity, problem solving.
Yeah.
And even some basic business principles.
Exactly. And it's fun.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe they'll turn it into something bigger someday.
Yeah, you never know.
So for any parents out there who are looking for fun activities for their kids,
Yeah.
Hello Kitty crafting might be the way to go.
It's a great option.
And let's not forget about the therapeutic benefits of crafting.
Oh, that's a good point.
There are studies that show that engaging in creative activities
Yeah.
can help to reduce stress, improve your mood,
Yeah.
and boost your self-esteem.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I always feel more relaxed
Yeah.
after I've spent some time crafting.
It's like a form of meditation almost.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to kind of escape from the digital world
Yeah. Unplug.
and just focus on something positive.
Absolutely. And with Hello Kitty as your guide, it's even better.
Right. Because she's all about, like, joy and optimism. It's funny how she's managed to stay so popular for so many decades.
Yeah, she really is a global icon.
She is.
And I think it's because of that timeless appeal, you know?
Yeah.
That simple design, the bright colors, that cheerful demeanor.
It just makes people happy.
It does. And it reminds us of the simple things in life.
Yeah. And the importance of staying positive.
Even when things are tough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's reflected in the craft projects we've been discussing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're not super complicated or over the top.
They're simple,
Yeah.
fun, and accessible.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that accessibility is really important because it allows anyone to participate.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of their skill level.
Right. So for those of you listening who might be a little intimidated by the thought of crafting,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
I would say just start simple.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
try the Hello Kitty chip bag
Mm-hmm.
or the party favor bags.
Okay.
Those are great for beginners.
Yeah.
They don't require a lot of materials or skills.
Right. And don't worry about being perfect.
Oh, yeah. No one's perfect.
Just have fun and be creative.
Exactly.
No.
It's all about enjoying the process.
Yeah. And expressing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's dive a little deeper into the specific craft ideas from the blog post.
Okay. Sounds good.
What are some of the techniques or design choices that stood out to you?
Let me think.
Well, I was really intrigued by the use of shadow boxes
Oh, yeah.
in the Hello Kitty Roses project.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just such a clever way to create a three-dimensional display,
Yeah.
you know, and it really showcases the Hello Kitty theme.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that they use the fake mini roses.
Yeah.
It adds a touch of like elegance and sophistication
It does.
that you wouldn't normally associate with Hello Kitty.
Right.
It's like taking something that's typically seen as cutesy
Mm-hmm.
and giving it a more grown-up feel.
Yeah, I think it's that unexpected combination of elements
Yeah.
that makes it so visually interesting. You know,
Yeah.
you wouldn't normally think to put Hello Kitty and roses together, but it just works.
It does. It really does.
It's like a reminder that crafting is all about experimenting
Yeah,
and breaking the rules.
totally.
Yeah.
And I think it also speaks to like the broader trend of like incorporating iconic characters into home decor,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
but in a more stylish and sophisticated way.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, don't forget about the practical aspect of using a shadow box.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It helps to protect your creation.
Yeah, keeps it nice and dust-free.
Exactly. So it'll last for years to
I was
come.
creating a little mini museum.
I love that.
Yeah, for your Hello Kitty masterpiece.
Your little Hello Kitty museum.
Exactly.
And it makes me think about like the sentimental value of these crafts.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're not just like decorations.
You're right.
They're like tangible representations of our creativity, our passions, our memories.
Yeah, and that's why handmade gifts are so special.
Oh, for sure.
You know, they have that personal touch.
Yeah, you can't get that with a store-bought gift.
Exactly. And you give someone a handmade gift. You're really giving them a piece of yourself.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And, you know, the blog post also mentions how crafting can be a form of self-care.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Like taking the time to do something creative can be really therapeutic.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it allows you to focus on something positive and productive,
Mm-hmm.
which can help reduce stress and improve your overall well-being.
Yeah, for sure. And I think in today's world,
Oh, yeah.
it's so important to find ways to slow down
Mm-hmm.
and de-stress and reconnect with ourselves.
Totally. And crafting is a great way to do that.
Yeah, it's like you're unplugging from the digital world
Yeah,
and engaging in something that's hands-on and
it's
creative.
like hitting the pause button on life.
Yeah, exactly. And with Hello Kitty as your guide,
Right.
it's bound to be a joyful experience.
Speaking of Hello Kitty,
Yeah.
it's amazing how she's managed to stay so popular for so long.
She really is a global icon.
Yeah.
I think it's because she represents those universal values.
Yeah, like what?
Like friendship, kindness,
Mm,
positivity.
mm.
Those are things that everyone can relate to.
Yeah, no matter what your age or culture is.
Exactly.
And I think it's reflected in the crafting projects we've been talking
Oh,
about.
yeah, definitely.
They're all about.
Simplicity,
Yeah.
fun accessibility,
Hmm.
and that makes them appealing to a wide range of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up,
Okay.
for all of you listening who are now feeling inspired to start your own Hello Kitty crafting adventures,
Yes?
just remember to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace your creativity.
Yeah,
And don't be afraid to experiment.
absolutely. The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
Yeah.
And you know what? Crafting is more than just making things.
It is.
It's about expressing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
connecting with others,
Yeah.
and finding joy in the process.
I love that. That's a perfect way to sum it up.
And if you're looking for more inspiration,
Yeah.
you can find links to all the supplies we talked about
Okay.
and the full blog post from Paperflow Designs in the show notes.
Awesome.
And be sure to check out paperflowdesigns.com
Yes.
for even more crafting ideas
Mhm.
and to sign up for their Crafting Made Simple newsletter.
Great.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Hello Kitty crafting journey.
It's been fun.
It has. Until next time, happy crafting.